So in the third and last video for our first week class session, I want to cover paragraphs and the homework that you will have due this week. So the paragraph is really the foundation of good writing, which is why I want to spend a little time discussing it this first week. So you'll need to be able to write good paragraphs to do well in your forum posts and in your comments and also in your essays in this class. So a good academic paragraph will have 4 parts to it. And those 4 parts are the main idea, evidence, analysis or be able to analyze your evidence, and then link. So you can remember these 4 parts by remembering the word meal. So for the main idea, this is where you convey what your paragraph will be about. And a good paragraph focuses on one idea. So in your forum post, you might be responding to a question, and you may then be taking a position in response to that question. So a good topic sentence for a forum post would be responding to that question and prompt, and also making your position clear. So good topic sense will make your position clear, and it will introduce the main idea of the paragraph all in one. So for evidence, the evidence is the examples, stories, or quotes that you are going to provide to support or explain your main idea in more detail, maybe to even prove that your answer or response to the discussion prompt question is correct. So the third is to analyze your evidence. And you have to always analyze evidence because you can't assume that your reader is going to read your evidence and come to the same conclusion that you did. You may have someone who reads your evidence and comes to the completely opposite conclusion that you did. So that's why you need to kind of walk your reader through how you read your evidence and how you're interpreting it. And then lastly is the link, which is the L in the meal plan. So with the link, you're explaining how does your evidence and your analysis kind of relate back to the main idea and your support. So with a link, you can either tie it back to the main idea in the paragraph, or if you're writing a larger essay, you can maybe tie back the whole paragraph to the thesis statement of your paper. Depends what you want to do. So note that your paragraph doesn't have to have all 4 of these in this order, but you do always have to have the main idea first in the paragraph. So here's an example of a meal plan paragraph, okay? And this comes from a source that you will be reading, I believe, in week 2. So right at the very beginning of this paragraph, our author Baylis gives the main idea. Many commentators view all the main characters in the book of Ruth, Naomi, Ruth, and Boaz, as having no major flaw. All right, then they give evidence for this. They're going to quote someone. For instance, Harvey states there is no villain in the story. No reprehensible act is done by any character. So this person agrees that there are no major flaws in these characters. So now Baylis is going to explain and give some more context for Harvey's quote. All right, and they're going to say how are they interpreting this quote, or how do they view it. So they're saying, Baylis is saying, since a character is evaluated according to his or her response to the tension in the story, this view means that all the main characters interacting with the tension in the book of Ruth make only positive ethical responses. Yet not to have any major character in negative contrast to the positive hero is unknown in any of the other narratives in the Bible. So right here, they're kind of saying they disagree a little bit with this analysis. So most commentators, which are like Harvey, are saying that there's no bad choices made in the book of Ruth. And this author's saying, well, I kind of disagree with this a little bit. And we can see that when they say, yet not to have any major character flaw goes against what other narratives in the Bible. So that's their disagreement. Okay, so lastly, with their link, they're going to explain how all this evidence kind of relates back to this topic sense of this view that many commentators believe that there are no major flaws in these characters. Thus, the claim that there is no negative main character in the book of Ruth is somewhat suspect. The presence of a major negative character ordinarily contrasts with and thus heightens the portrayal of the positive character. Okay, so again, they're kind of disagreeing, but they're tying it back by saying we can't have just positive characters. We have to have some negative characters with these flaws in the text. So keep in mind when you're writing your own paragraphs in the forum and in your papers to use these 4 points: the main idea, evidence, analysis, and link.